Once one of the most polluted waterways in the country, Green Bay has suffered almost every conceivable environmental ill over the last 2 centuries. Thankfully, significant progress has been made, and today, NexSens buoys are helping scientists, policymakers, and local communities understand the problems of poor water quality that are turning Green Bay's waters, well, green. Hi, I'm Stephanie Andrews, climate scientist, ocean adventurer, and systems specialist at NexSens. When we talk about an environment being green, it's usually a good thing. But Green Bay, Wisconsin, gets its name from the distinctive water colour caused by Cyanobacteria, an algae which thrives here. But Cyanobacteria is bad news. It's the most common cause of harmful algal blooms in freshwater environments, and these blooms produce the toxin microcystin, which can cause serious harm to humans, with effects like skin burns, migraines, and even pneumonia. Animals are also at risk, and needless to say, this water is not suitable for consumption. The Clean Water Act, passed in 1972, has helped put a stop to harmful pollution from a single source and significantly improved water quality. Today, though, Green Bay faces challenges of non-point source pollution. That's the stuff that runs off streets and fields. I spoke to Val Klump, former Dean and Professor Emeritus at the University of Wisconsin School of Freshwater Sciences, to find out more about the impact of this pollution.
One of the impacts of this massive runoff of nutrients into the bay is the existence of major algal blooms. Green Bay has been, hyper-eutrophic, in other words, nutrient-rich, or lots of algae in the water for decades and decades. One of the consequences of that is that stuff, when it senesces or dies and settles to the bottom, it decomposes, and during the summer in particular, when the physical conditions are right, it consumes oxygen when it decomposes, and it results in these hypoxia or dead zones, and all lakes more or less stratify in the summertime because warm water, when the surface water heats up, it's less dense, so it floats on top of the cooler bottom water. That means that the oxygen that's present in this bottom water has got to last longer.
These hypoxic events threaten the bay's aquatic wildlife as the environment becomes inhospitable, leading to changes in the size and distribution of wildlife, including fish, with knock-on effects for the fishing industry. Recreational activities are also impacted. Val works alongside a team at the University of Wisconsin who have been studying the bay for decades. Active remote monitoring started in 2012. In 2022, the UW team deployed the first set of buoys for this monitoring project, with 3 more added the following year. I asked Val how hypoxia is monitored in Green Bay.
We want to understand the dynamics of the system on a high enough resolution so that we can understand what's driving hypoxia in the system. So that means having multiple sensors and in giving real-time or near real-time data.
With this aim in mind, I spoke to Jessie to understand how she built the buoys.
Since the bay is so dynamic and the conditions are constantly shifting, it can be very difficult and is often very time-consuming to monitor with more traditional, sometimes manual methods. We've been using NexSens buoys for over a decade, but in that time I've become very comfortable and familiar with them, and also very confident in their design and structure. So it was pretty much a no-brainer to use them. And with the added benefit of having quite a few buoy sizes and levels of complexity to choose from.
Let's take a closer look at the systems. On the smaller buoy is a NexSens temperature string and a bottom in situ RDO blue dissolved oxygen temperature sensor. The larger system includes the same RDO sensor as well as 2 optical Yosemite sensors at the surface that monitor chlorophyll A, phycocyanin fluorescence, and temperature. Each of the buoys is equipped with Dragino LoRaWAN controllers that remotely transmit data to the closest LoRaWAN gateway. Mike Zorn explains more about teaming up with local partner Cellcom to use LoRaWAN.
One of the interesting features of the system we have here is we're using LoRaWAN. They've set up a LoRaWAN wireless network around the lower bay of Green Bay, and that's allowed us to assemble these LoRaWAN buoys, put them out there. As long as we get them in the region that has coverage, we can wirelessly transmit the data.
It was like the perfect marriage of existing infrastructure and monitoring needs.
Data is instantly transferred to the larger public Seagull database. From there, it can be freely accessed and viewed by anyone interested in seeing conditions on the lake.
That's one of the best parts of this for me, is hearing from the public, oh my God, we love this data. Can you put it out sooner? Can you keep it in for the winter?
As well as supporting recreational fishing, the data can be used to inform management of commercial fishing at Green Bay, a source of $260 million annually. 24/7 data from the buoys is helping develop better practices that prevent losses and protect native species. How is the fishing industry using Green Bay's buoy data?
Last year and the year before, they noticed a significant hypoxic event near one of their fishing nets, and they don't want that to happen again, or they want to at least know that that's happening so that they can take some action. So if they know, they check our dissolved oxygen concentrations online, and they notice that the concentrations are low, they can maybe go out and address that situation.
In summer 2025, the team plans to deploy instrumented nets that measure dissolved oxygen and report data in real time to the Seagull network. Commercial fishing nets are usually set for 3 to 4 days, so sudden hypoxia can cause trapped fish to suffocate. Fishing operators can receive alerts about conditions, allowing for quick retrieval of the nets and preventing large losses. Ultimately, the data collected by the buoys help make water quality more accessible for communities and commerce, and improve scientific understanding of Green Bay's ever-changing environment. Back to Val one last time. Why is better data important to Green Bay's future?
I really think with the increase in the technology for sensor systems and monitoring systems like NexSens produces, that we're really on the verge of a renaissance in our understanding how these systems function, because we will finally have the data at a high enough resolution which will show us what the actual dynamics in this system are. You cannot manage something unless you understand how it functions.
Water quality at Green Bay has come on in leaps and bounds in the last century, and the buoy systems are part of the latest chapter, giving lake users and policymakers better data. In the future, they have the potential to continue transforming Green Bay. Visit nexsens.com for more information. NexSens. Better data. It's never been easier.